Today we are in Palmetto, Florida, and in this video we're going to show you why this city may be the most underrated city in the entire Tampa Bay area.
Palmetto is located just south of Tampa Bay, and while many people drive through it every day, few stop to explore it and really experience its old Florida charm. So that's what we're going to do today.
Our day of adventure started off early at our home in downtown St. Pete. And after a quick drive southwards over the scenic Sunshine Skyway Bridge, we had arrived at our first destination in Palmetto, Java and Jive. Located in downtown Palmetto within the Poppy's Place restaurant, we immediately found Java and Jive to be a sweet lover's dream, offering a wide variety of ice cream options plus a selection of made-from-scratch pies. And as its name would suggest, they also offer coffee, which was a top priority on our visit. We decided to go with the Tupelo honey, which was flavored with vanilla, honey, and cinnamon.
Homemade cream?
I think so.
And while it wasn't in our original breakfast plans, Skylar couldn't pass on a piece of homemade pie.
Pie for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
So this coffee tastes like cinnamon toast crunch, which I love. So if you're in the mood for a dessert coffee, Java and Jive is the place to go.
Believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever tried blueberry pie.
Because you always get key lime.
True.
How is it?
We just left Java and Jive, and that place offered way more than what we expected. We found that it's actually located within a restaurant called Poppy's Place. So we could have actually ordered breakfast there, but we were only planning on coffee. Now when we got there and saw how delicious the pies looked, we just had to try a slice. Now we did really enjoy the coffee, but we would definitely go back for the pie. After a delicious but very sugary breakfast, we had plenty of energy and calories to burn. Thankfully, our second stop of the day in Palmetto, Florida would be the perfect spot to do exactly that. And after around a 4-mile drive westward from downtown Palmetto, we had arrived at our destination.
Alright guys, we made it to our second stop of the day, which is the Emerson Point Preserve. Now this is the #1 thing to do in all of Palmetto according to TripAdvisor, and it's also supposed to have some great hiking trails. And after that breakfast that was full of sugar and more eating and drinking planned for the rest of the day, we are anxious to get out on these trails and burn some calories.
Keep an eye out for the turtles.
While we unfortunately did not cross paths with any turtles at Emerson Point Preserve, we did come across the Welcome Center, which was landscaped with beautiful native wildflowers.
This is pretty nice. You can scan the QR code to get a map of the trails.
Although the Welcome Center wasn't open during our visit, the public restrooms at the center were accessible, clean, and well-maintained. Our next plan was to hit the hiking trails, but not before checking out this view of the Manatee River.
So there are a lot of trails here at Emerson Point Preserve. We have parked here, and we want to go see the observation tower up in this area. So I think that's where we're heading to first.
Our journey to find the observation tower took us to the North Restoration Trail. We found this primarily gravel trail to be wide, winding, partially shaded, and overall quite well maintained.
So we're really close to the observation tower, and we just noticed there is a small parking area, so if you didn't want to take the trails here, you can drive and park.
Having now reached the observation tower trail, we thought the tower would be just a short walk away. And while the hike on this trail ended up being a bit longer than we expected, we found the trail to be very scenic and didn't mind the extra walking a bit.
There are just so many cool trees along these trails like this one.
After around a quarter mile of hiking on the observation tower trail, we reached the lower loop trail, and at this point, we knew the observation tower was close.
Having already hiked nearly 2 miles on this Saturday morning, we were excited to have our efforts rewarded with some great views. And that's exactly what we found after climbing to the top of the observation tower.
We made it to the observation tower, and it is an amazing view from up here. You can see the north tip of Anna Maria Island. You can see Egmont Key, where we were just a couple of weeks ago. You can see St. Pete Beach over there. You can see the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and even downtown St. Pete. But it is full sun up here and we are roasting, so we're gonna go get back in the shade on the trail.
Back on the ground, we made our way to the Terracea Trail, where we found some beautiful boardwalk paths and some much welcomed shade.
So we've already met several dogs in the preserve. So if you're looking for a spot in Palmetto to take your dog, Emerson Point is a great option.
After just a few minutes on this trail, we passed over the Emerson Point Preserve Kayak Trail, where it connects with the Terracea Bay.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, I guess so.
Although we had just begun to scratch the surface of this park's extensive trail system, Emerson Point was already becoming one of our favorite spots to hike in the Tampa Bay area. Do you have any go-to spots for hiking in the Tampa Bay area? If so, let us know in the comments. And if you're enjoying this video so far and want to see more travel and adventure content in the Tampa Bay area, be sure to subscribe and turn the notifications on.
It is incredibly peaceful out here, but it's also incredibly hot, so I think we're gonna keep going.
With so much more of this preserve still left to explore, we made our way back towards our vehicle.
We just finished up our hike on the Terracea Trail, and right by the trailhead we found the kayak launch. Now, we had actually considered paddleboarding on the kayak trail today, and the people we saw on the trail had great things to say about it. But it's already afternoon, we haven't had lunch yet, and we still have at least 4 more spots to take you to, so we're gonna have to come back to paddle on another day.
Skylar is so sweet. You can see him way down there. He's actually walking in the sun to get the car because while we were hiking, my sandal broke. So he is letting me hang out in the shade while he goes and gets our vehicle.
What do you think, guys? Should we pick her up?
Where are you going?
Back on the road, we headed to the far west end of the Emerson Point Preserve, where we found some nice panoramic views looking out to the Gulf of Mexico. After taking in the views, we made our way back east to the Portavant Temple Mound Trail.
Check out the crazy trunk on this tree. I don't think I've ever seen something quite like that.
That's pretty cool.
So intricate.
And while we enjoyed our time hiking on all the trails of this preserve, we both agreed that this trail was our favorite, mainly due to the beautiful mossy oaks.
So we've been in this preserve for over 3 hours now and have hiked at least 5 miles.
Now we're getting ready to leave. This next place we're going to show you has actually been our favorite place to visit in Palmetto over the past couple of years. Now it's Sunday today, so it's not open, but we did visit a few days ago and we're going to share that footage with you next.
And that place is none other than the Detweiler's Farm Market, which now has 5 Florida locations and has been our absolute favorite place to shop since moving to Florida nearly 10 years ago. Perhaps the best thing about visiting Detweiler's is the huge variety of fresh produce, which includes some of our favorite exotic and not so exotic fruit. We're always impressed with the variety of vegetables at Detweiler's as well, and we generally find the quality to be superior to our local grocery stores. And if you enjoy pineapples as much as we do, then you'll love this pineapple machine, which cores and slices your fresh pineapple for you in just a matter of seconds. And for all of you seafood lovers, Detweiler's has you covered as well, with a huge selection of fresh fish, many of which come straight out of our local Gulf waters. And right next to the seafood counter, the butcher shop offers some great deals on some high-quality meats. Detweiler's also has a great deli, with a wide variety of sliced meats and cheeses, plus some of the best bacon that we've ever had. And we can't forget about the bakery, which offers made-from-scratch breads, pastries, donuts, pies, and cookies. Here you'll also find Skylar's favorite Cajun seasoning and our favorite type of juice. Perhaps the most underrated part of Detweiler's is the sub shop, which makes huge and delicious subs. But our favorite things to eat at the sub shop are the ridiculously delicious lobster bisque and the freshly prepared gyros, which come in a baked pita loaded with fresh veggies and grilled lamb meat, and rival those of any Greek restaurant we've ever eaten at. Not to mention they're reasonably priced and absolutely massive as well. And last but not least is the ice cream shop, where you'll find some of the least expensive yet most delicious ice cream you'll ever try. And if you prefer something on the healthier side, they offer delicious and gigantic acai and pitaya bowls as well. Back on the road, we made our way south towards the riverfront, where you'll find our next 2 stops.
All right, guys, so we've had a bit of a change of plans. We had planned on hitting up Taco Juan's for lunch, but we spent too long at the preserve, and by the time we finally got out of there, Taco Juan's was closed. So instead, we're gonna hit up our dinner spot a couple of hours early, and our late night food spot may have to end up being ice cream and beer.
With our appetites having returned thanks to several miles of hiking, we were ready for dinner on the water. Our dinner destination took us to 995 Riverside Drive, where you'll find the River House Reef and Grill. We were pleased to find seating on the waterfront patio, where we enjoyed the fresh breeze and Manatee River views. Less than 20 minutes after being seated, our food orders had arrived.
All right, Skylar, what did you order?
I got the lobster pot pie with a side of garlic mashed potatoes and sweet potato fries. And what did you get? And what did you get?
I got the teriyaki salmon bowl.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Although Skylar's pot pie really wasn't much of a pot pie at all, it was quite delicious.
That is really good.
I was happy to find my teriyaki salmon dish to be juicy and full of flavor.
Good teriyaki sauce.
After leaving just a few crumbs of our delicious dinner behind, we began the short and scenic walk to our next destination.
So we just left the River House, and while all the food we tried was really good, our favorite had to be the salmon bowl.
Yeah, that dish was fresh and the salmon was cooked perfectly. And at just $15, it was reasonably priced as well, especially for a spot right on the water.
Now our next spot is also along the river here, so it's only a few blocks away. Now it's rated really good, but I have a feeling that Skylar would have made us go even if it wasn't just because of the name.
And with a name like Alice Scoopers, we expected this ice cream shop to have some creative options, and we sure weren't disappointed. We found the shop to offer many rotating flavors of small batch ice cream, plus pup cups, vegan and keto options, and non-dairy options as well.
Maybe another day when we have a little bigger appetite.
And while neither of us were too hungry, we both had plenty of room for ice cream, and of course we couldn't try just one flavor. After much deliberation, we decided on the Cheesecake in Paradise, the Name Game, and the Sea Sand. Although we didn't find seating inside Alice Scoopers, we did find a comfy spot right outside to enjoy their fantastic ice cream.
We just left Alice Scoopers, and that place really lived up to its ratings. All 3 of the ice cream flavors we tried were really delicious, especially the Sand and Sea one with the macadamia nut cookie. We also had a boba tea that was really good, and the staff were really friendly, so we would highly recommend it if you're in the area.
Back on the road, we spotted some incredibly charming houses.
Now, if we ever have to stay in Palmetto, I think I just found where we'll book. This place is so cute.
After our early dinner and ice cream snack, it was time to hit our next spot, which we'll tell you a bit about right now.
So we just arrived at the citrus place, and this spot actually wasn't on our original list because it's technically in Terracea. But we've driven by here like 100 times on the way to Detweilers and always wanted to stop in. And since we skipped lunch today, we had a bit of extra time, so we decided today was the day to finally check it out.
Once inside the citrus place, we found that the timing of our visit wasn't the greatest. We learned that the orange growing season in Florida runs from October through June, so there were no oranges or fresh orange juice available for purchase. But they did still have their famous orange soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, that's really good.
right, I want to try it.
The super creamy ice cream lived up to the hype, as did this blue crab salsa, which came highly recommended by the store clerk. And while the timing of this visit could have been better, we agreed we'd be making a return trip to the citrus place once Florida orange season resumes. For those of you who know us and our channel well, our next stop in Palmetto will come as no surprise, as we love to cap off our days of exploring with some great beer. Located at 4935 96th Street East, Corporate Ladder Brewing has long been one of our favorite Tampa Bay area breweries, and one of many reasons we find Palmetto to be so underrated. And as Michael Scott would surely agree, there's no better way to boost office morale than with a trip to this amazing brewery. With an ever-changing list of great beers to choose from, we almost always go with a flight, and this day was no exception. And while we haven't tried many beers that we didn't love at Corporate Ladder, our favorites tend to be their sours, which are always unique, flavorful, and always go down oh so smoothly. Want to explore another unique city just a few miles from Palmetto? Then take a shot on this video next. And as always, thanks for watching!